Here in the Arizona Republican AZ Central Newsroom, I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. We get to talk about Mo Udall, the man who was deemed too funny to be president. But he had an idea about how the primary system should work, which you kind of like. What is Mo Udall's idea?
I actually like a lot. In contrast to this compressed, front-loaded, quick decision-making.
Every year in Iowa, every year in New Hampshire, they get first pick.
And ultimately, apparently for the Democrats, South Carolina gets to decide. Udall, who came in second to Jimmy Carter in the 1976 Democratic presidential primary, suggested that we have a series of regional primaries. It would be state by state, but you would go to a region as a whole. So you could concentrate your time and your energy, and there can be a real campaign. You would rotate it each election, so no one always got to go first. And then you would space them out enough so that those who survive the first round have time to regroup, restock, redeploy, to do truly thorough campaigns in the next round. And that would provide a more deliberative process. When we got to Super Tuesday, the only guy who had the money and the time to campaign in all 14 states was Michael Bloomberg. Joe Biden won him without really conducting much of a campaign in very many states.
But if that system came in, would we still see some of the same problems you point out in the column, where early states get paid too much attention? They're maybe not representative of all of the rest of the country?
Well, you would at least have 4 or 5 regions. So instead of a single state, you would have a group of 10, 11, 12 states.
Which
presumably that would be more representational, at least it would represent an entire region of the country. And you would be having the opportunity later on to actually run effective campaigns. So there would be an opportunity for second choices, second chances, second thoughts, rather than just in 3 days, Joe Biden goes from being a political dead man to being the presumptive nominee. I mean, just a more deliberative approach to making one of the biggest decisions that Americans ever make.
And is it just tradition that we do it the way we do? Do you think there's anything that would shake Iowa being first, this year being that example?
Well, the problem is, as has been noted, that every time a U.S. Senator looks in the mirror, he or she sees a future president. And no one is willing to take Iowa and New Hampshire away, or at least argue for that, out of fear that if they ever did run for president and Iowa and New Hampshire were first, Iowa and New Hampshire would take it out against them. How much of a mess the Iowa caucuses were may cost Iowa its pride of place, if not in timing, in consequence. I don't think that candidates will invest as much time. It will be hard to shake New Hampshire's position, but at some point in time, we've got to start talking not only about how do we create a more sensible system for the parties to nominate a candidate, but how do we break out of this two-party oligopoly on producing nominees? If we don't like the choices that we're getting, we should change the process by which we make the choices.
Yeah, and years ago, someone who did run for president out of Arizona came up with this plan. Mo Udall, who, if I have the story right, walked into a restaurant and told 2 men, "Hi, I'm Mo Udall, I'm running for president." And they said, "Yes, we were just laughing about that."
I think it was a barbershop, but it is a typical self-deprecating Mo Udall comment.